So, chapter 33 of Kagurabachi is finally here, and let's just say that it's about to get crazy. So first we have Chihiro finally breaking through the barrier, we have Hakuri tapping into his true power, and we also have Tenri Sazanami using power on par with the Enchanted Blades. So we have a lot to discuss, but of course we're gonna start from the top. So this chapter pretty much picks up where it left off in the prior chapter, with Chihiro breaking through the barrier and damaging Soya in the process. Now he didn't actually kill him, and Hakuri believes that he didn't do it because it's his brother, which is probably the case. And that's because he typically isn't this charitable to bad guys, so it's somewhat out of character. But at the same time, he's kind of focused on other things at this point in time, so you can excuse it in that sense. So yeah, Soya got knocked to the ground, and Chihiro basically tells Hakuri to run to the door, but he asked him if he finished the guy on the other side. That's when he said no. Now we then switched over to said mystery sorcerer with Yuki behind him, asking if he was rejected and if he wants her to comfort him. He then replied saying, "No, I feel fully satisfied. Besides, the Sazanami are the ones who have to risk their lives today to protect the Rakuzaichi's integrity. The rest is up to them." He then used sorcery to teleport similar to Shiba, and that's when 3 random guys just teleported into the room. Now, I initially thought that these guys were a part of the Tohu, but apparently they aren't, because Shiba actually took care of them in the other room. And we're gonna get to that soon, but these guys are indeed a part of the Sazanami, but not necessarily a part of the Tohu, it seems. Now, they then referred to Yuki as Enkotsu, which is the power she uses, and then said that you are the Kaminabi. Are you really going to take us on? I thought you were a more conservative bunch, which pretty much means they thought they would play along to the rules for the most part. But she's kinda rogue at this point, so they technically are at the same time. Now she then says what I said earlier, which is that these guys aren't the Tohu since they have different uniforms, but they're definitely part of the Sazanami. But she then also noted that they're clearly from a brilliant lineage. For some reason, I don't know how she kinda parsed that out. Maybe it's the uniform, it looks too pristine, maybe that's why. But the apparent leader of this specific squad pretty much says that they don't care if she's a part of the government. Anyone who interferes with the Rakuzaichi dies. And then the fight pretty much commences. Now then switched over to Kiora, and he seems to be conducting the Rakuzaichi or a Rakuzaichi, because this doesn't seem to be present time, because it then shows a younger Hakuri and a younger Tenri. And there also seems to be someone in a cage on the stage as well, but they aren't present in the second panel. But the crowd is also gone as well, so it could have just been after the event took place in the past. Kiora then turns to Hakuri and Tenri and says, "We the Sazanami rule the passion and value for the people. We stand at the very top. You two are special." He then says, and that's exactly why we have to be strong. The Sazanami clan alone possesses the privilege of standing on this stage. Nobody else is permitted to trespass upon it. And in all of history, nobody has ever violated this zone. The Tohu, which is the Sazanami clan's elite forces, have protected that tradition over the years. It's a proof that we are special. So he's just sitting atop Tenri at this point in time, threatening to burn his eyeball using his cigarette if he doesn't tell him how to enter the storehouse. He then says to Tenri that you are the strongest Sazanami, right? And you've got no trump cards left. This perverted festival of yours is over. That's when the next brother or the next member of the Tohu is basically saying that, yo, this guy's way too strong. Alright, I'll tell you how to open the door. But that's when Tenri says, "Over my dead body, I won't let anyone interfere." So he seems to have this deep devotion to this storehouse more than anyone else, and we see why that's the case, because he was touted as special, right? And it goes into his backstory again, with him basically saying that Hakuri, who is his brother that's 1 year older, isn't really special. I'm the special one. And if people found out about his idiot brother, his father would be disgraced. So it's kind of this elitist mentality. Although at the same time, he seems to be burdened by having to carry the weight for Hakuri because he can't do it himself. So even after becoming the youngest Tohu in history and getting praised by his own father, he still feels like he needs to make his father proud just to make up for Hakuri. That's what I'm getting from this chapter. But that's when we switched over to the mystery sorcerer and Kiora having a conversation about Sojo's legacy. The sorcerer then presented Kiora with an item and said that he's now gone. He was obliterated before reaching the realm of Rukihira, which of course is referring to Sojo. He then said that this weapon commands the temporary stability of the Tenseke. In other words, the power that rivals the Enchanted Blades. Choose carefully when you use it. Its effect is temporary. Your body won't be able to contain the flood of spirit energy. And this part is actually Kiora speaking to Tenri, who now possesses the item. He then tells him to defend the Rakuzaichi to death. And that's when Tenri grabs onto the item with his brother telling him not to do it. So this seems to be deadly in a sense, but probably not as deadly as grabbing onto the power source itself, which is what Sojo did and got turned into dust. But yeah, Tenri proceeds anyway to grab onto it, and he seems charged up using spirit energy outside his body, and he seems to form a jellyfish, or at least that's what I'm seeing. You guys might see something else, but yeah, it seems to form a jellyfish around his body, and Shiba is like, yo, what's going on here? The physical manifestation of spirit energy. It's a special spirit energy reaction of an enchanted blade. And Chihiro also senses this as well from the other room, and he's like, yo, the atmosphere has changed, what's going on? He then tries to leave with Hakuri, but that's when Soya stands up and he's really pissed. Even like Hakuri points this out, like he looks very different than he was before. So it seems like he's now gonna take the fight seriously. But yeah, Chihiro isn't wasting any time, he has things to do, so he's like, yo, I'm gonna take out this dude using another attack from Cloud Gouger. But Hakuri stops him and says, yo, you only have a few attacks, right? So save them up for the right time, which is pretty wise. But also it's kinda crazy that he feels like he's gonna take on Soya. So it's like telling Chihiro to go on ahead, he'll handle this. And then we see him like charging up another attack to hit Soya. Now we also have the narrative statement saying to the Sazanami, he's only a tiny bud that's finally sprouted. But now that the wall is broken, the genius blood that flows within him accelerates the blossoming. And that's where the chapter ends. So yeah, I think the chapter was pretty cool. We have a lot going on here. We have the time jump going on. We have like this new entity being introduced, like this new power mechanic, which is this weapon that was created. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of weird that Sojo didn't use this himself if he had it. But it could be that he didn't complete it in time and this new sorcerer completed it for him. Or at least that's what could be implied by him saying that he didn't have enough time to reach Rookie Hira. So we'll see how that plays out, but this power mechanic is really interesting, and I like it because the Enchanted Blades are really overpowered and the main character has the strongest one. At least he doesn't have it right now, but he's gonna get it back, of course. So having this new mechanic being introduced where people can get power matching the Enchanted Blades, aside from Flame Bone, of course, this is really good in my opinion. And also I did find it interesting that Hakuri and Tenri were touted as very special for some reason, and before it was revealed that Hakuri was 1 year older, I thought they were twins, and it got me thinking about like Mai and Maki from Jujutsu Kaisen, where twins are kind of cursed in that verse, so one can't reach his full potential while the other is still alive, so one has to die. And I was thinking that maybe if Tenri dies here, then Hakuri would just receive this boost in power, but they aren't twins technically because they're 1 year apart, so I don't think that's gonna work. But that was really interesting to see. But yeah, this chapter was really good. I find it very interesting, so let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you guys want me to cover more Kagurabachi content and give you guys explained videos. I'm trying to do more things and diversify the content, so I'm going to incorporate more Kagurabachi videos. Of course, I'm going to still do Boruto content, and I'm also going to do Kaiju number 8 content, and that video is already up on the channel, so you guys can go watch that one. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this chapter. Comment down below, drop a like if you liked it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.